Welcome to your personalized deep dive. Today, we're tackling artificial general intelligence, AGI, those AI systems that could be as smart as humans.
Yeah, like they could
Right.
learn and reason just like us. It's pretty mind-blowing stuff.
It really is. And to get into it, we're diving into that interview you wanted to hear with Demis Hassabis, the CEO over at Google DeepMind.
He's really a leader in the field.
Totally. And he's predicting that AGI is, get this, only about a decade away.
A decade. Wow, that seems both far off and like it's right around the corner.
Right. I mean, think about how much AI has changed even in just the last few years.
It's true, and Hassabis leads the team behind Gemini, which is Google's most advanced AI, so...
So when he says something like that, it's definitely worth paying attention to.
Absolutely. Although it is interesting to think that some other experts, like, what's his name, Dario Amodei at Anthropic, he thinks it could be even sooner, like by 2026.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. And then you've got Sam Altman basically saying any day now.
Yeah.
Right. It's like trying to predict the weather.
Exactly. But I think Hassabis makes a good point. It's not going to be this like one day we wake up and boom, there's AGI. It's going to be more gradual with all these advancements along the way.
Yeah, it's like, how do you even pinpoint the exact moment, right?
It's true. So I'm curious, like, what are some of those big breakthroughs that Hassabis says we still need? Like, what's missing?
Well, he talks a lot about this idea of multimodality.
Multimodality.
Yeah, so imagine AI that doesn't just understand text, but also images,
Yeah.
audio, like the whole sensory experience.
Oh, interesting. So, like, how we experience the world.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's not just about understanding language. It's about context, too. It's about putting it all together.
Exactly. And that actually reminds me of something else Hassab has talked about. Google's working on this really ambitious multimodal assistant called Astra. Oh, yeah. I remember him showing that demo in the interview. That thing was wild. It was navigating like a real-world environment, understanding instructions, and it can even remember past interactions, right?
Yeah, it was amazing. And the crazy thing is, building these kinds of products, these consumer products, is actually pushing AGI research forward.
How so?
Well, think about it. The skills you need to build Astra, understanding language, context, visual information, they're all connected to the skills needed for AGI.
Oh, that's a good point. So it's like a feedback loop almost.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're making progress.
Yeah.
But even with all these incredible advancements, Hassabis is also very clear that even the most advanced AI we have today, it's still mostly passive.
Yeah.
We ask a question, it gives an answer. It's not really taking initiative,
Yeah.
Like, where's the drive?
You're totally right. That's the big leap, right? Going from these passive AI systems to what he calls agent-based AI.
Agent-based. So like AI that can set its own goals.
Exactly. AI that can act independently. And that's a whole other ballgame. It really makes you think, about what it really means for a machine to be intelligent.
It's a huge question, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about like a fundamental shift here. It's not just about, can AI write a better email or something? It's about, like, can it understand the world and its place in it?
Exactly. And that gets us into the whole debate about how we even build AGI in the first place. Like, how do we design something that complex?
Right, because we're not just scaling up what we already have, are we? This is something totally different.
Right. So one idea is, can we create this one massive, super intelligent AI that just knows everything?
Okay, so like one giant AI brain.
Yeah, basically. But then Hassabis brings up this other approach, the, what was it called?
Neurosymbolic.
Yes, that's the one. It's a mouthful, but the idea is actually kind of elegant.
So what is it? How's it work?
Well, imagine, instead of one giant brain, you have a central AI system, a kind of conductor. And this conductor, it orchestrates all these smaller, specialized AI modules.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So each of these smaller modules, they would be like experts in different areas.
Precisely. You could have one for language, one for math, one for visual recognition.
Oh, so it's like a team of experts all working together on a single product.
Exactly. And the conductor, the central AI, it figures out which expert to call on, depending on the task.
That makes a lot of sense. And we're already seeing a little bit of this with some of the more advanced AI out there, right? Like, wasn't GPT-4 using a bunch of smaller, specialized models?
It was. And Hassabis points to that as a potential path towards AGI, this idea of using these specialized modules.
Which makes sense coming from him. I mean, look at what they've done at DeepMind with AlphaGo and AlphaFold.
Right. Those are prime examples of incredibly powerful, specialized AI. AlphaGo mastering Go, which is like one of the most complex games we have.
And AlphaFold, predicting protein structures, which is revolutionizing medicine and biology.
Exactly. So the potential is clearly there with these specialized AIs. The big question is, can we take that next step? Can we take these individual stars and create a whole constellation?
So it's not just about building the best individual players. It's about how to get them to play together as a team.
Hmm.
And that's where that conductor idea comes in, right?
Yeah. But then you have to ask, is that even the best approach? Is AGI about one super intelligent system, or is it about this beautiful orchestration of specialized AI working together?
Yeah, because on the one hand, you could argue that a single massive AI model would be the most powerful, right? Like
Right.
just raw processing power.
But building something that complex, it's a massive undertaking.
Yeah.
And what happens if it encounters something outside of its training data, something it's never seen before?
Right. It might be like having the world's biggest dictionary, but not knowing how to use any of the words.
Exactly. And that's where specialized AI could really shine, right? They can be much more adaptable and efficient, but maybe lack that broader understanding.
So it sounds like there are trade-offs with both approaches, like finding that sweet spot, that balance between specialization and integration. That could be the real key to unlocking AGI. It's fascinating to think about, right? Like, are we trying to recreate the wheel, so to speak, by building one massive AI? Or are we going to go the more, I don't know, elegant route with all these specialized AIs working together?
I know, it's really a question of, philosophy almost as much as it is about technology, isn't it?
Totally. And it makes me think about our own brains, right? Like, we have all these different areas that specialize in different things.
Right, exactly. We don't have just one giant neuron that does it all, do we?
And it kind of makes you wonder, if we did try to build AGI as one massive system, wouldn't that be incredibly difficult to, like, control and manage?
Yeah, you'd have to make sure you thought of every single possibility, every scenario.
It seems almost impossible, right?
Almost. But then again, the human brain is incredibly complex and somehow we manage. So who knows?
True, true. It's wild to think about. But no matter which way it goes, one thing's for sure.
Yeah.
We've got to be really careful here.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about AI that could potentially become more intelligent than us.
Exactly. So the stakes are incredibly high. It's not just about, making sure it doesn't write bad poetry or something.
Right. It's about making sure it aligns with our values, that it understands our goals and our limitations.
And that it doesn't decide those goals for us,
Precisely. So, as much as all this talk about timelines and breakthroughs is fascinating, the really big questions are about ethics and responsibility.
It's like Asaba said, right? The future of AGI, it's not predetermined. It's being shaped right now by the choices that we're making.
Exactly. The research we prioritize, the conversations we have, it all matters. And it's not just on the scientists and the engineers to figure this out either.
Right. This is something we all need to be thinking about and talk about. I mean, look, even just this deep dive, right? We started by talking about Hassabis's prediction that AGI is only about a decade away.
Right, and then we talked about all the advancements in multimodal AI, which is already blowing my mind.
Totally. Think about those Astra demos. Like AI that can understand and interact with the world in such a sophisticated way.
It's incredible. And a little bit scary, to be honest.
Definitely. And then, of course, there's the big question of how we actually build AGI. Do we go for one super intelligent system, or do we embrace this idea of specialized AI working together?
And what's so interesting is there's no easy answer, is there?
Not at all. It seems like finding that balance, that sweet spot between specialization and integration, that could be the key to unlocking AGI's true potential.
And doing it safely and responsibly, which is maybe the most important part of all of this.
Couldn't agree more. Well, this has been an amazing and slightly terrifying deep dive. It really feels like we're on the edge of something truly transformative with AGI. Thanks for joining me.
It's been a pleasure.